Stand up, girl. Stand up for yourself. When you hear the word witch, what comes to your mind first? Let me guess. A woman, black hat, black cat, flying broom, and magic? Is that what comes into your very limited imagination? Just kidding. Probably me too. We're the same. But did you know that witches and witchcraft were real at some point? Did you know that thousands of people were burnt because, they were witches? I know, it sounds crazy. But the history of witches is pretty sad, and I've been wanting to speak about this one for a long time, and yeah, it's finally here. So without wasting your time, let's get into it. Hi everyone, and welcome back to a new YouTube video on my channel. Hi everyone, and welcome back to a new YouTube video on my channel. Oh, did I say that twice? No, I said it once, and the second time my pimple said it. Do you see this? Yeah, I don't know why the lighting is making it look small, but it's so big actually, and it's so annoying and hurtful. But today we're not here to talk about this. We're not here to talk about my skin problems. We're here to talk about witches. And in order to talk about witches, let me tell you about the word witch and what it meant in Old English. You might think something evil, something bad. It meant someone who's wise. That's it. Someone who's wise. So trust me when I tell you that by the time witches started existing, they were very respected and nice. They were healers, people who saved a lot of lives. The villagers loved them. They would go for them if anything goes wrong. They would help women give birth. They would help you heal from this and that. These women who preferred living alone, maybe widows, maybe midwives, it depends. And they just knew so much about nature and plants, and yeah, everything was nice and beautiful and everyone was happy. The end? No, not the end. The beginning. During the Middle Ages, medieval era, or whatever you like calling it, Christianity became the main religion in Europe. And the church wanted people to stop following these old traditions that had nothing to do with Christianity, the people who believed in spirits and healing and nature and stuff. At some point, it became an act against God and church. Yep. Yeah, I don't know. Men took it too seriously. I don't know what they were thinking. The problem was that so many women at the time believed in nature. Healing with herbs, using those small cute charms that, I know there's no purpose of those, but they look cute. The church looked at it as sorcery and evil. That's where the idea of witches or witchcraft being a bad thing started. And once people started to believe that a witch could harm you with their evil magic powers and stuff, oh my god, here we go again. People were scared. Very scared. From the 14th to the 17th, Europe went through what we call now the witch craze. And in this time, tens of thousands of people were accused of witchcraft. People were so suspicious of each other. They would report anyone for anything, but there was a pattern on the people who were actually reported or accused or being suspected for witchcraft. Malleus Maleficarum. It's a book written by two German men. Released in 1487, becoming one of the most popular books at the time. What do you think this book was about? It was about witches and witchcraft. How do you know that one person is a witch? How do you know they practice witchcraft? How do you torture them and make them confess? And how to get rid of them? It's so weird. Very weird. Can you believe that judges and priors used this book as a guide? Like he's turning the pages and reading, she didn't confess, let's use this method. Looks interesting. I mean, we gotta kill the witch, right? And yeah, it suddenly became very common, The pattern I was gonna talk about is a woman who's probably, not gonna lie, a woman. The pattern I was gonna talk about is a woman More than 80% of the people who were burnt alive and accused of witchcraft, they were women, of course. Now you might be wondering, okay, what else? Women who were super into nature, as I said, healers, maybe widows, midwives, maybe older women who prefer to live alone. I don't know why living alone or trying to be independent. I mean, I think that's still a problem right now, but it's not a big deal, bro. She just wants to live by herself in the forest. I don't understand how is that bad thing. Like, she can't hurt you. She's so far away. She's, right? Do you understand me, sir? Please listen. 1587 in Germany, a woman named Walpurga Hosmanin was accused of killing babies with magic. She was a midwife who gave so much help to pregnant women and helped them give birth. But when a few babies died because of sickness or illness that she couldn't cure, they started reporting her and calling her a witch. Ungrateful. In Scotland, 1591. This one you won't believe. Agnes Sampson was known as a healer. She was very respected by her people, but not anymore. When a terrible storm hit, a lot of people accused her of causing the storm so that she can harm the king's ship. And I heard that the king back then, I don't even remember his name, but he was obsessed with witchcraft. He attended her trials. He watched her getting tortured. And then she was forced to admit to things that she did not do. I mean, who can start a storm? Let's be for real, bro. And of course, she was executed. In Salem, Massachusetts, 1692, a group of girls claimed that they have been possessed by witches. They screamed, acted strange, and accused a lot of other people of witchcraft in their village. The panic started spreading like wildfire around the town where they lived. And by the time 200 people were accused, 20 of them were executed. Let's go back to asking why most of them were women. Why not men? By the time, women had so little power, or so. That's what society thought, As many people believed that women were weaker, they're not supposed to have dreams and blah, blah, blah. They're just like there to give birth and sit and look pretty, I think. If you try to be independent, you will get executed because, girl, what do you mean? You want to live alone? You don't want to get married? Oh my God. You're odd. I'm trying to think what those people were acting like towards the women who were actually just minding their business. A lot of historians say that witchcraft or the witch hunt was never about magic. It was about control. When a woman tries to act all independent, she's different, doesn't fit in society, and tries to find her own self, her own dream, her own thing. Yeah, no way. Nope. Unforgivable. How dare you think that way? Let's be honest, if we were still living at that time, I'd be burnt to the ground by now. Because what do you mean? I don't know, bro. I just can't fit in. I feel like introverts would have like a hard time. We would be the witches of all times because I don't know. I always imagine like if I lived in the medieval era, I would be someone who lives alone in the forest and maybe sells flowers and herbs, and maybe I bake as well and heal people. That's such an amazing life. Until men. Yeah. By the 17s, people finally started to open their eyes and the science started to become a thing, even though, let's be honest, a lot of people were against science in the beginning because, oh my God, they're against everything that's new. People started to understand how diseases spread, that it's actually normal for someone to die. I don't know, just because you go and see a doctor and you die later on doesn't mean the doctor tried to kill you, right? They started to understand how the weather works and that no human being can control it, thankfully. They started opening up their eyes and started hopefully feeling stupid for what they've done. I don't think so. The idea of witches and witchcraft started to sound ridiculous. Like if anyone would mention that or say, oh my God, I'm possessed. Yeah, I think people would laugh at him because, bro, we're no longer in that age. And even today, the image of a witch is everywhere, in the movies and books, you know. It's such a nice idea. But remember, whenever you see a lady with a broom and a hat and a black cat, just remember that there is a pretty tragic history behind this myth that we see, or the legend of witches. Because, yeah, around 60,000 people were executed back then, you know, from the 14th to the 17th. And trust me, none of them was a witch. I'm pretty confident when I say that. It's pretty sad, because I remember when I talked about vampires last time, I was like, okay, I mean, those people died, but burning someone alive, I feel like you have to be so unhuman to do that. It's just unacceptable. And yeah, they did it. And the hurtful thing is, I didn't go all about details, but the hurtful thing is that the people who were accusing these people, sometimes they're really close to them. Like, imagine like a brother accusing his sister, or like asking them to arrest her or reporting her because she didn't want to get married and she was into nature and herbs and just wanted something different. And he's like, her, take her. So it's truly sad and heartbreaking. I don't want to think about it, honestly. Alhamdulillah, we're no longer living in that time and era, because God, I would have been so pissed off. That's it for today's video. If you liked it, like it. Like, if you liked it, you feel like you like it, press the like button. It's for free, trust me. You can subscribe as well. I'm trying to upload every single day. And if you comment down below an idea, you'll probably see it in the next video. I love you so much. That was it. Bye.